I'd like to address the problem that many of our churches and houses of worship have. And that problem is abuse and uncontrolled anger in many of our churches. And many of our members in our churches have these problems, but they hide behind the church, they hide behind ministry, they hide behind the gospel, never seeking any kind of professional help, and never even going to the pastor so he can refer them for professional help. And in many cases in our churches today, we have pastors and church leaders that don't understand the role of the counselor and haven't taken any kind of counseling courses themselves to deal with the situation. This topic is important to me because that I have many friends who are Christians who have experienced some form of abuse. And in many cases have destroyed their life, their family life, and even caused them to leave the church and caused them to stop having a relationship with God. Now this is important to me because the fact that my calling to the gospel ministry, and one day perhaps whatever ministry that I pastor, I want to make sure that I am a certified counselor and I'm equipped to counsel people within my ministry and those within the community at large. Now the purpose of this speech is to give my audience a positive outlook and outcomes when members have an opportunity to seek professional help. Now, based on information provided by many sources, many pastors and church leaders haven't even taken any counseling courses. And even though they have degrees from seminaries and stuff, it seems like counseling is not one of the main things that they focus on. And yet, from time to time in my experience in ministry, I have found that many pastors will say that I'm going to counsel somebody. And in reality, what they are doing, they're giving spiritual advice, because you can't counsel someone if you're not a counselor yourself. And when one look at the area of counseling, all we have to do is go to the American Association of Christian Counselors, who provide leadership and education for those who enter in the counseling field. And this would be a great plus for many pastors. Now, when we look at the body of this, we look at I have found that many Christians in the kingdom of God is in denial when it comes to dealing with past and current problems in their life. And sexual abuse is one. I was reading today Christian Today article, Christianity Today article on the monsters among us. And in that article it shared like 6,115 priests who have been equipped or who have not been equipped, but who have been involved with sexual abuse. And I believe no doubt it's happening in the Christian and evangelical church also. And we must address this problem because we have people in our churches who are hurting. Another area we have is emotional abuse. Many people in our churches are being hurt emotionally. They are being manipulated by pastors and leaderships, manipulated from a standpoint that I do what I need to do to keep them a member of this church and keep them involved in this church and encourage them not to attend other churches and so on. That is a form of manipulation, because God is a free God, and God, we should be able to worship God in freedom. And it's an emotional abuse that can cause problems to one's spiritual life when they're being manipulated, especially by the church. And I believe this problem needs to be addressed. And also, many churches need to understand that if we want to get to people, we got to offer them love, we got to provide them a safety net, we got to educate on not only the victims, but the membership also, and be able to offer people professional reference so they can get professional help. One of the things I like to say in closing is that the Bible states in Psalm 27:10, when my father and my mother forsake me, the Lord will take care of me. Victims of abuse must be reassured that God will take care of them no matter what's the outcome. He will deliver them. And as the church, we must come together and provide refuge for people who have been abused and people who have ongoing anger in their life, so they can be delivered from these situations. In closing, I would like to say that pastors and leaderships must begin to implement changes within their ministries to develop a safety net and a place where people can get help.